everyone, I have a download to show you today. This Agata has sent me this to show you. She sends it me as a freebie to sort of promote for her. And this is her April Tinies on Showers page. She's doing the series through the year. And just before I start, all of her downloads are available with a 10% discount if you use my discount code. There is a link. Oh, sorry, I'm just taking off my cardigan. Just having a hot flush right from the start. Anyway, in my description there's a link, and you follow that link and you would get the automatic discount. So here is the page, the April homepage, and then you get some tinies. There's 6 on each page there. The sun is shining, you probably cannot see anything if I put my hand on it. And then on the back there's some smaller ones. We're going to come in closer so you can see it properly, and hopefully the sun won't interfere so much. I find once the whole screen is white it works quite nicely. There we go. Hopefully you can see that reasonably well. I have got my lamp on as well. It's a bit tricky with this sort of summer coming. I sort of forget how I'm supposed to film to allow for the light. If I turn the lamp out, oh, I don't know. Anyway, I can shut the blind and do it that way, but then you get a bit of a glare. Either way is not ideal. But anyway, right, so we have April, the words April, and we have a slightly Easter theme, even though she does have an Easter Cuties page, which I've shown you already. But we have some Easter going on in this one as well, although obviously by the time you see this video Easter will sort of be over, but I think it's still quite fun to colour the little Easter eggs and things like that. So we have also sort of baking equipment and florals. I think she said those were the 3 sort of themes she'd put for her April page. So I'm just slowly moving it up so you can have a little look at all the details. We have lots of cakes, lots of Easter eggs, lots of flowers and things like that, which are really pretty. I noticed that here, these flowers here with these roses are a little bit more detailed than her usual very simple shapes. So it's a little bit different. I do love colouring roses. I think that looks rather nice. It's, as I say, normally she's quite plain and simple, but it's not really that detailed. It just looks a little bit different, which is why I've pointed it out. Whereas this rose looks a little bit more simple. I think it's just because they're a little bit smaller. So, and we have a tree with eggs on, which I love. So there is that page. And then we have our slightly larger designs. Sorry, I'm just going to, make them straight. That wasn't really necessary. So we have a sweet treat cart and a cake with this rainbow or arch, something on there. And we have, oh, this is a cupcake, look, with a house on it. And this one is a box with flowers in. And then we have a teapot, oops, a little bit higher, and a shelving, sort of shelf unit with cupcakes and plants. It's rather sweet. And the next page of larger ones, I'll go to the top. I don't know why I want to go from the top down. So we have cups and a milk jug on that one. This one is a cake with the slice taken out and some books. This one is rather different. We have like a motorbike delivering cakes. I like how it's a sweet delivery on there. It's really cute. I'm not sure where the driver's going to sit, but we won't. We'll pretend we haven't noticed. And then umbrella. And then down here we have a little pot of cookies with some florals. And then this one again is a little bit different, a little bit more detailed. I like that. Very pretty. And look, a cake, but it's made to look like fields with a house and things like that. The sun has just gone in. It'll probably make a difference. I am probably going to close the blind before I start colouring because I think it's just going to be too irritating. We have a little cake with an Easter egg and some flowers, a little bunny in a cookie tub with carrots. These are like little lollies, but with Easter themes. More Easter eggs. So this page is really rather Eastery, which is very sweet. a bunny, a jar of eggs, and this one is the one I'm going to colour. I just love little bonsai trees, so I'm going to colour this one, the eggs. And then we have a very delicious looking cake, like a Swiss roll, nom, and a cupcake with a gate and a jug. So I'm just going to stop the video, close the blind, reset the camera light, etc., and then we're going to do some colouring. Okay, the thing I always find when I close the blind and do colouring is that the paper looks a little bit blue, but we're just going to hope it's okay. Now I'm going to use Castle Arts pencils. I'm just moving them so I can reach them. Now I've got two sets here. I've got my pastel set because I think that's going to be nice for the eggs and the flowers, but I probably want a bit of a darker colour for the for the tree trunk. So I got out my Castle Arts Botanical set as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about Castle Arts while I'm colouring too. So I'm going to start with the trunk. I'm going to use this colour. This is the raw umber, and I'm just going to colour it all over gently because I'm going to add some more colour on top. Now yes, Castle Arts, there are lots of sets of Castle Arts. I had a few questions about them the other day, I think, so I thought I'd natter on about them. Now they come in different set sizes, so there is a 72 set of just mixed Castle Arts. This is soft touch pencils, and there is a 120 set of soft touch pencils, and these were their sort of original pencils, their first line of pencils when they first sort of came out. And they also I'm just trying to work out what's going on here. I've got a line there. Oh, I think that bit there, continuation of that eye. Oh, the line is from the egg. That's it. I knew Agata wouldn't have done it wrong. It's me. And they also bring out smaller sets of soft touch, so in different palettes. So the set I'm using today is the Botanical set there. Botanical collection, and they've picked out a set of colours they think is particularly good for botanical art. But to be honest, if you're going for a first set of castles and you just want to try them, the Botanical set is very good. I'm just grabbing the burnt umber. I'm going to sharpen it because it has a good selection of colours right across the spectrum, really, whereas some of the sets are more, you know, say the portrait set, for example, doesn't have lots of green in it, that sort of thing. This is the burnt umber. It's getting a bit short. I'm going to do the edges of the tree. So this one has a good range, but if you're not sure, I've actually got a freebie in my Ko-fi shop, which is a list of all the Castle Arts sets that are available. I think plus one discontinued set, and which coloured pencils are available in them. So what's worth noting are a few main points. Firstly, the 120 soft touch set contains all the colours from every set, so whether you bought the Botanical, the Monet, the landscape, the portrait, the urban, or whatever, they all contain pencils that are in the 120 set. So if you want all of them, just buy the 120, don't buy all the little sets, because you'll just get duplicates. Okay, so that's worth noting. But if there are certain colours that you want, then you might just want to buy a smaller set. Also budget, of course, it's cheaper to buy a smaller set. And that's why I put together my chart, because it tells you exactly which colours are available in which sets. And then, because it's not always very clear on their website or on Amazon when you're buying. So I thought that would be useful. And you can also use it as a swatch chart if you wish. They also make a gold set, which is supposed to be their premium set, and that comes in a 72 and a 120. I've got the 72, and I have to say the wood is more premium. So when you sharpen these, there sometimes seems a little bit splintery. Some of them are better than others. Which can be a little bit distracting. I'm going to do this grass next. I'm just going to choose a colour. So that's a bit annoying. And the gold set, the wood is very smooth. This is the sap green, you have to believe me. Or is it the permanent green? Hang on, I'm just going to check the number. 110. No, it's the permanent green. I'm going to do that for the grass. Okay. I'm just going to go all over the grass. Don't press hard because I will do another colour or layer at least on top. This is just sort of marking out for me so I can see where the grass actually is. So the gold set is, some people really love it, think it's much nicer, some people don't, and it's like all pencils, it's a matter of taste. So, but they don't do all the little sets with that one, you just have either, as far as I'm aware, the 75, 72 or the 120. That's the golds. I do have a swatch chart for the golds, but only the 72 because that's all I've got. I don't know I haven't done one for the bigger set. And sometimes they come with them. My pastel set that I've got here comes with a sheet. So I haven't done them for those because it comes with one. I think maybe they all do now. Can't be sure. Right, now we've got the grass is quite up and downy. That's how grass grows. So we're going to get a darker colour. I'm actually going to use the sap green, which is what I thought I was using before. Give it a sharpen and draw in some sort of strandy bits like grass. Good words, strandy bits. So they also do a metallic set and a pastel set. Now I'm going to be using some of the pastel set in a minute for the eggs and the flowers. Now the pastel set is very pretty, but pastel pencils behave in a slightly different way to regular pencils in that if you layer them up, the colour doesn't change. So with a regular pencil, I'm going to show you. This is my green that I'm using now. If I'm light, it goes light. If I do that, it looks much darker. And so you can almost get what looks like a different colour. But with a pastel pencil, I've got one here, it doesn't really, you don't get the same sort of change in colour, I don't think, because it can't go as dark. So I find that although they're nice, I like to mix them with other sets. Some people don't like mixing sets up, so if you don't want to use several sets together, it might be that they're not quite the right choice for you. Now our leaves I'm going to do next. So I should do the pot and the grass. Hang on, I'm talking too much, not thinking. This is the permanent green and I'm going to do the grass with it down here. And the metallic pencils are also interesting. They're very, a lot of people really dislike them because I'm trying to think about, I want to do a terracotta pot, but I don't know if I've quite got the right colours. I am going to use the red ochre for the pot. It's got a big little bit. I'm going to put a light layer on, okay, but I'm going to make it a little bit darker on the edges, but I think I'm just going to put a light layer on first and then darken those edges after. I'm going to try not to go over the lines on that because I'm going to do something different with that. Yeah, the metallic pencils, now they aren't like metallic pens, they aren't shiny like metal. Okay, you can't do that with a pencil, but they do have a little bit of shine in them, and the colour range is quite different. The colours are a bit muted, so I'm going a bit dark on the edges here, and rather attractive, but as I say, it's quite different, so it's worth having a look at some of the pictures that I've done with them. I've done a review of them. I've even got a swatch chart somewhere, I think, with them, so that you can see what they look like and decide whether they're going to work for you. I'm now using the cadmium orange on top to try and give it a slightly more terracotta-y look. This might be a little bit bright, but it's okay. Don't press too hard and we can go over with more colours. I'm only working here on copy paper. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for colouring on. It's fine, but if you want something really special, then I would use a proper expensive paper. But this is just for me to show you a bit of colouring and to chatter on, so too bothered about the paper. If you were going to use this to make a card from, for example, you want something a little bit better. I'm just going to layer it up a bit here. That's it. Now I do happen to have a terracotta light. This isn't really very terracotta-y to me. It looks more like a sort of ochre, but we're going to use it on top. A sort of medium layer on top of everything. Now Castle Arts are a budget range of pencils. There are cheaper ranges, so they aren't the cheapest, but they are more affordable than polychromos, Prismacolors, well, depending on where you live and what sort of import/shipping you have to pay. But and their customer service is fairly good, as far as I can tell, as well, which is nice. Always good. Now I'm going to grab one of my pastel tones to just go over the top of here, because there is a one called Apricot Twist, and I think it might just give us the final finish. This is from the pastel set. You can just leave it like this if you want, but I just feel like I want to go over with this. It might not even have enough space for another layer, but I'm going to give it a go. I think some areas do and some don't. But yes, some people dislike them, some don't. You know, it's quite good if you've got a small budget. I would say that if you've got a budget and you can afford expensive pencils, always go for them. If you can't afford them and you haven't got a big budget, then these are decent, you know. Right, we're going to do this in gold. I'm going to do a slightly different gold method, well, not really method, pattern, should we say. So I'm going to start with my darkest brown, burnt umber. I'm going to start on the corner and bring it in diagonally, like that, and do the same from the other side. So rather than coming in straight, which is what I normally do, I'm going to come in diagonally. That's the difference. Now there's writing on here. I'm going to ignore that. Okay, whoops. And cut over it. This is raw umber, because it's only sort of squigglies. It's not, it's like the name of the plant. So over what you've done, and bring it in a little more. Same on this side, like that. Then the yellow ochre. Yes, so as I say, Castle a good budget set, but if you can afford expensive, then they're better. I think that's quite, it sounds obvious, but actually some expensive sets are better than others. This is cadmium yellow. I haven't tried them all, so I can't say for sure, and sometimes it's just a matter of personal taste. But I have used these pencils in videos and been happy with the results. It's just, they're just not quite as, it's not quite the range of colour. You can't buy them open stock, so you can't buy replacement for one. So like this one is obviously really short. I can't replace this, you know. I've got other ones because I've got other sets, so I'm lucky, but you know, it means that either you buy a whole new set just for one, which is expensive, or you know, that's the main downfall with budget pencils. Right, I had said before I was going to think about the leaves. I think we're going to do the leaves in a pastel tone and then maybe put some darker tone on top to show you how you can mix together the two colours. I'm just looking at what we've got. I think I like that one. It's not going to go very well. Let's use the savannah. I'll find it. There it is. So this is the pastel set savannah. And for the leaves, I'm going to just colour them with this evenly and not too hard, because we're going to go over with a darker shade. Now pastel pencils were all the rage at one point. Everyone was buying them because I don't know if Holbein came out with them or just someone who was popular got them and discovered them, because Holbein pencils, which are one of the most expensive brands that you can buy in the UK, they have a 50 set that is pastel. And so people were seeing people use those and enjoying them, and so some companies came out with copies. And now I don't know how close a copy they are, but Castle did. This is their version of a pastel set. I've got a set by Kores, Kores. So they're a real budget student set, but they're you know, they have a nice pastel range, but there's no brownish or greyish colours, which you do get in the Castle. Which is quite useful. I think Holbein has quite a few greyish and brownish tones too. I'm just making sure I've done all those leaves. You can see they're quite pale, they haven't got a lot going for them, but if we add a little bit of phthalo green light on top, I think we will help them to just jump off the page a little bit. I'm just going to sharpen it. And then I know that Brutfuna has a pastel set, which a lot of people rave about. I have got some Brutfuna pencils, which I think are rather good, particularly for the price. I'm going to make them a little bit darker just in the middle, I think. And see how that pans out. May end up needing another layer of Savannah on top after. But I just try and do something a little bit different for you. You could use this at the base, you could use this at the tip, or in the middle. You know, there are options, so see what works. What other pastels do we have? What I have done is Holbein actually brought out a 12 set of pastels and pastel pencils. That's just make sure you realise I am talking about pencils, not soft pastels, oil pastels, just pastel tone of pencil. And I ended up buying a set, you know, being carried along, being influenced by somebody, as we all are, and they were so expensive. They're lovely, so expensive. So I didn't buy any more. I'm going back, as I said, to my Savannah to just go over the top of it all again, really. I just feel like it needs another layer. So Holbein bought I got the 12 set, and what I have done is I've put together a little chart, again in my Ko-fi shop, for free download, which shows you the nearest matches to those 12 in other sets, because so many people can't afford the Holbein, and yet they are beautiful pencils, but there are close colour matches. Now obviously pencils differ in how they feel as well and how they work on the paper, but I was just concentrating on the actual colours when I did that chart. And I matched them to quite a few different brands, so I'll put a link to that as well. So if you're interested in matching up and pastels and things, so I'm just writing that down now. And the 120 chart as well. Okay, now we have got our flowers. I'm just trying to think what to do with those, the flower centres to start with, how bright or dark to go, because I know what I'm doing with the actual flower. I think I'm going to grab this one, this rather pretty yellowy colour. It is called Saffron. You'll struggle to see, or you might just be able to see. And I'm just going to do all the flowers just in this. I'm going to give it a sharpen first. But Carson have been bringing out a few new things. Sorry, my hand is casting such a shadow because of the way the light is in here. They've brought out some drawing papers, which some, like pads, sketch pads, things like that. I've seen some of the reviews have been quite nasty, saying, so I don't know what they're like really. It's not something that I use. they brought out, what else? I'm going to do these flowers in a pink. I want them to look a bit like sakura, you know, cherry blossoms. I'm going to use the foxglove, if I can find it. There it is. It's really, really pretty pink. It's quite delicate, pretty. And I'm just going to do all the petals, I think they look really pretty in white, to be honest. Oh, it's really wobbly. Hang on, this needs to sharpen. So I don't know what those pads are like. They do drawing pencils, you know, graphite pencils in different hardnesses. Gel pens. Now they're gel pens. I had a set. This pencil once was broken again. I can't get the lid out of my sharpener. They're gel pens I thought were good value for money. They were very cheap. I used some vouchers and a coupon, a percentage off and all sorts, so I got them really, really cheaply. I think I paid like a tenner. This is going to break again. I think I'm going to try it. I think I paid like a tenner for the set. And some of them were dry when I got them, but because I paid so little money, I didn't mind. This isn't working. I'm going to have to go and get a different sharpener. Hold on. Right, I'm back with that. I used my dowel to sharpen it. Yes, and they also, the colouring book, they do colouring books as well. And the style of colouring is not quite my taste. But obviously there are lots of colouring books that aren't my taste and lots that are. So it's a tricky one. They sent me them all for free, and I have to say I've only coloured a couple of pictures. The Christmas one I coloured more in because it's Christmas. But what they have with their colouring books is I think what they've done is they've got an artist to draw a picture, and then they've made it into a colouring page. And then they show you the original picture and you're supposed to sort of colour it to make it look like that. And I find those really difficult to do. I'd rather something that is drawn originally as a colouring page and then left so that you can colour it however you wish, you know. But that's just my preference. There are colouring books, plenty, where there's a page to copy. And some people find that very useful. So it's just a matter of having a look at the images in the book and seeing what you think. I did some flip throughs of them, and then some people bought them because they really like the pictures, you know. So and I think they do something else. Oh, they do paint as well. I've got no idea. I know nothing about paint anyway. I don't do paints, so I don't really know. Okay, so we've done that very briefly. Now I want to do a darker bits on the flowers as well, like I did on the leaves, but in a slightly different way. I've got a rose pink here in my Botanical set. I'm going to use this. Hopefully it'll sharpen a bit more successfully than the other pink. Yeah, I think with this one I'm going to do what I tend to do more often and just put a darker bit around the flower centre. I think that'll work. This lead's actually a bit wobbly. I was going to open my blind where I was off sharpening my pens. I'm glad I didn't. The sun's just come out again. It was really dark for a minute. It's that sort of cloudy weather where the sun's in and out every few seconds. It's rather nicer than yesterday. Whoops. Better to have it coming in and out of the clouds than it raining every few minutes like it did yesterday. We went out to my mum's and I was the only person with a coat because it was warm, and as we drove it absolutely hammered down, and but luckily by the time we reached our destination it was dry again. We had a sort of, I guess, 30-40 minute journey. I can't really remember. We had to take a detour because there was some road closures and things going on. And anyway, it was interesting weather. Luckily we weren't intending on going anywhere once we got to the house, so that was good. There we go. So you can see that's added a little bit to the flowers, but we've still got that delicate pink on the edges. Now we have our 3 eggs, and I'm going to do each of them in a different pastel tone, I think. I'm going to start with the blue. It's a very pretty blue called delphinium, which I'm going to try and find. I swear I've looked through all the blues. Ah, it's a sort of bluey green colour. Delphinium. And we'll do this one. Now with an egg shape, I tend to go a little bit darker on the edge and lighter towards the middle. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that show with this pastel-y colour. Just trying to build up some layers. Now I find these pastel pencils work well together with not only the Castle Art Soft Touch but also the Castle Arts Gold. But I'm sure they'd work with any pencil. They're quite soft. I think they're more like the texture of the gold pencils, but it doesn't really matter in my opinion if it's you know, how you do it. Now I was thinking of doing an orangey coloured one, but we've got our sort of orangey bowl, so I might go for the petunia pink actually, because that is a little bit orangey but it isn't quite as vibrant. I'm getting cold now. I've taken off my cardi. Ugh. Anyway, let's fill this one in. You can see it's a much paler orange than the bowl. I'm half tempted to do the last one yellow, but don't really. We've got yellow in our flowers. I'm trying to do different colours. Let's do a purpley colour. That's quite dark, isn't it? What have we got? We've got the hydrangea, heather, I think we use, or the wisteria. No, the wisteria's a bit pink. We use the heather because it's a paler. There is quite a deep purple, but we use this one. Okay. So I don't have a swatch chart for these, but I was thinking maybe it might be useful for those of you who don't have the pencils to see what's included in the set. I don't know, let me know. There we go. Now I'm going to brush that, and then I'm going to have a little think as to whether I want to add any more. I think it's okay. I think I'm quite happy with it like that. I think I'm going to leave it. So there is our little bonsai egg tree. It's a good name, isn't it? Bonsai egg tree. But there we go. So I know it's not, I know Easter is past, but I don't see why we can't do a bit more Easter colouring. So there's all sorts of fun things, or you can do it, save it for next year, you know. But there we go, there is our page, and yeah, if you've got any questions about castles or you want any swatch charts that I haven't done, because I haven't done the metallics, I've done a comparison metallics one with Brut Funa, but I haven't done one on their own. I haven't done one for these, but I'll give you the links to the ones I have done, and yeah, let me know if there's any more you want, because I'm quite happy to do them. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely day, and happy colouring.